lunchtime. 12:16. Good day. It's the first working day of the new year. Today is a holiday because New Year's Day landed on a Sunday. They decided here in Hawaii at least that they would recognize the holiday by taking Monday off. So everybody's got the day off. All the trucks are in the yard here. There's a few of us drivers that volunteered and came in to take care of things. Both the Sunday and the Monday ship have arrived and for the most part are offloaded. We picked up our LTLs, being another driver, and we got them all on the docks. The docks are loaded up. Not sure when the warehouse is coming in. For the most part, we're done. We took 4 empties into the shipping terminal. We brought 5 fulls out. Dispatcher just showed up. I wanted to find out if there was any dunnage cans in the yard that maybe wanted to be dumped, but I haven't heard back. So we're just going to park the truck and probably go home. But yeah, the yard's nice and set for tomorrow morning. I'm not sure if the warehouse is coming in this afternoon or tonight, but everything's on the dock, opened up and ready to go. Warehouse dispatch is here. So I think we're going to shut them down. I didn't even eat my banana today, and it's a nice one. Keeping too busy. So yeah, Happy New Year. It's I spent the day yesterday working on the computer, taking all the files off and putting them into storage and opening up the computer. And then I upgraded my video editing program from 17 to 18. And it wouldn't work, so took it all off and reinstalled it again, and still it wouldn't work. So now the education begins. Trying to figure out why this new program won't work on the computer. The old program was working all right. And come to find out, my computer, because it's 5 years old, is, you know, that's like... What's up, Rodney? Yeah, it's probably in one of the trucks from the Target guys, but yeah, okay. I'm headed home. Yeah, but everything went smooth. We got all the fulls off and took a bunch of empties out, so we're good. No, I'll just have them input it tomorrow. Okay. All right, have a good night. Yeah. So we'll just finish up our paperwork. So what I'm finding out is that I have a pretty strong computer. It's 5 years old, but it's strong. It's got a lot of you know, it's like 3 terabytes of storage in it, and want to say 8 gigabytes of RAM. It's a quad, so it's a four processors, so you can work on a lot of different things at once. But I'm finding out these new programs that they're making are using really heavy duty and strong graphics cards, and that's where my computer had problems, because the graphic card you want like 2 gigabytes, and I think the graphics card in my card is 112 megabytes. So it is way outdated for these new programs. So I went and reinstalled an older video editing program just for now until I figured things out, and then that wouldn't work. So I just walked away from it, because by that time I had a headache. And this morning I come and try it, and it's working perfectly. Like in the middle of the night when the computer does its updating, it probably updated itself or did something, and everything kind of settled down. Now it's working fine. So hopefully it still is when I get home. But yeah, we came in at 6:30 today. We'll be out of here by 12:30. We did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 container movements. Got to get all the paperwork. The yard is clean, so I'm happy. How many miles did we drive? 7, 4, 5, 56. So 37 miles driven. So being the new year, I thought just take a minute here and tell my story real quick for those who might be new to the channel. Notice lately there's been a few new subscribers, or maybe they're old subscribers that are just resubscribing. You never know. I mean, I get between 150 and 200 people watching each episode, and the vast majority, according to the analytics, aren't subscribed. So that's just the nature of YouTube, I think. But I was born in Washington State. When I was 5, my mom married my stepdad, and we relocated to the U.S. Virgin Islands. I lived 7 years in St. Thomas, 6 years in St. John, and then another 2 years back in St. Thomas. So I grew up in the West Indies. Most of my values are West Indian values. The West Indies is a higher cost of living than Hawaii, and very few opportunities as far as industries in the Caribbean. I mean, the number one industry is tourism. And so that was home growing up. When I was graduated from high school, we moved to New York City. I lived in New York City for 7 years. Hated the weather. Had a friend living here in Hawaii. I asked him if I could come visit, and he said, yeah, come sleep on my couch. And so I think in '83 I came out to Hawaii for the winter, went back to New York. It was hard to figure things out in Hawaii, because Hawaii is a lot different than the Virgin Islands in some ways. And the tourist industry in the Virgin Islands is very seasonal. It goes up and down, up and down. It gets really busy during the winter months, and it gets really slow when it's hot during the summer months. Hawaii is not like that. Hawaii's tourism is just always busy, year-round, always busy. The clientele changes, but the rooms are always full. So that was a little bit different for me, but the island lifestyle I really liked. So in 1987, I was 27 years old. I moved to Hawaii with $700 in my pocket and a girlfriend who I met in New York, and moved out here to Hawaii. First year or so I was working as a cashier at a 1 Hour Photo, and a lady came in with pictures of bus crashes, and I asked her what's it like to become a tour bus driver in Hawaii, because I had some trucking experience in New York. And she basically told me, well, if you're warm-blooded, I can have you driving a tour bus by the end of the week. And she was a real go-getter type, and I kind of wanted to test her, you know, I was a little cocky myself at that age. And so I said, okay, give me your name and number, because I was hoping to get her name and number. And called her up, and she said, come on down, we'll train you starting 5 o'clock, 5 to 7, Monday through Friday, and that should be enough for you. And so I came down to the terminal, and they put us in a bus with 5 other trainees, and we went up and down Lagoon Drive in a old GMC tour bus, 57-seater, 4-speed standard. Very difficult vehicle to drive. And the vehicle is so difficult to drive that when it's in neutral, the only way you can get it into gear is to turn the engine off. Otherwise it won't go into gear. At least the ones we were training with. So you turn the engine off, put it in gear, put the clutch in, start it up. And so that's what we trained on, going up and down. And like I said, I had some trucking experience in New York, so I caught on pretty well. But by the end of the week, I was taking passengers from the airport into the hotels in Waikiki and picking them up in the hotels in Waikiki and taking them to the airport. And this is what's commonly known as a jerk. You jerk them to the airport, you jerk them to your hotel, you just back and forth. It's the low man's job to do the jerks. So back and forth you go. And then I learned a lot from all the different drivers. They're from all different parts of Polynesia, and they all had that aloha spirit in those days that was pretty addictive. You want to be around it. A lot of fun. You're hanging out with tourists. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed being a tour bus driver. So I was a tour bus driver for 10 years. Learned all the different tours, drove all the different buses. And then the first Gulf War came, and the tourist industry took a hit. And I had just gotten married. I had just bought a new house, a studio apartment. Just bought a studio apartment, and I went from working 6 days a week, 56 hours a week, to working less than 20 hours a week. And so I had all this debt from getting married, and I had all this debt from the studio I just bought, and my life went into a tailspin. So the marriage lasted 5 years. By the end of it, I was bankrupt, no place to live, and divorced. And I walked away from the tour bus industry, and across the street was a garbage company, Browning Ferris Industries. And I started driving roll-offs for them, and I worked 6 days a week, 60 hours a week for 7 years. 2 years driving roll-offs, 5 years driving the front loaders. I was picking up these big green bins like the one in front of us there. So you pick up like 120 to 150 a day, 2 loads at the dump, somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 tons a day. So you're picking up 20 tons of garbage every day. So I got good at picking up trash, and I found out that trash is a recession-proof industry. In other words, don't care how bad the economy gets, people are always going to throw out garbage. And I learned there's very few recession-proof industries. The other one is freight. People always need stuff. And so I worked there for 7 years. I just didn't have the muscle to stay with it. I was constantly getting my shins busted up, my hands would get banged up and sprained, and to this day my wrist hurts all the time. Getting stuff in your eyes was real common, and just being around garbage is kind of nasty, but you get used to the smell. But I had a friend that I drove tour buses with that was working for this company. He became the safety officer, and he had spent some time in the mainland working for Swift as a trainer. And he told me if I came and worked for this company, he would help me get my tractor trailer license. And that was always kind of like a dream ever since I lived in the mainland, to be a tractor trailer driver. And so I came over and started out in the straight trucks, the small trucks. And after about 2.5 years, I worked my way. I kind of trained myself on tractor trailer. Got my tractor trailer license. And now I've been with the company 20 years, 18 years driving tractor trailers. I've had enough. I'm ready to retire. In the time I've been in Hawaii, I've bought 2 homes and 2 timeshares, all here in Hawaii. They're all paid off. And I got, you know, enough money in the bank to take it easy for a while. But healthcare is a big deal to my wife, and she says, you know, just stick with it till you're 65. That way we're both on Medicare and we're good. And so 60, going to be 63 this year. So that leaves 2 more years to go after that. I think I can do it. My health is pretty good. I still enjoy the work a lot, and so we'll probably stick with it. But I don't work full time anymore. I only work 4 days a week. I take Wednesdays off. That's why I'm working today, because I always have Wednesday off. So every weekday is like a weekend, holiday weekend, you know, for me. And I might go to 3 days a week. We'll see. That's kind of my New Year's resolution, is that as you get into your 60s, you just don't have the energy and the stamina that you did when you're younger. And so the idea is to take the wisdom and use it to put less effort and more productivity using the knowledge that you have. And so that's my goal. COVID came along the last few years. Everybody got into entertaining themselves, and me included. You know, we just binge on YouTube and Netflix and you know, all the other stuff that you can entertain yourself with. So my goal this year is just, you know, get away from entertainment and go back to education, because education makes you, usually for me, makes you happier. And if you want to see a good illustration of that, go by an elementary school where kids are forced to learn every day, and just look at them in the playground at recess. Those are some happy people. And it's because they're learning. Everything is new, and I think that's true about learning. So I'm going to kind of hang up the entertainment side of life for a while and get into the education side of life. And that's how YouTube came along. 8 years ago, I was telling myself, you know, I really got to pay attention to this technology, because it's running away with the world. And either you got to be a master of it, or you're going to be a slave to it. And so I told myself, let me do something that I really am not comfortable with, and that was to start a YouTube channel, just to teach myself how to do these things, and to be social, because I'm a bit of a hermit, you know. This is about as social as it gets right here, and so that's the goal. Just try to keep up with technology through a YouTube channel, and learning things on the internet through YouTube. I guess that's kind of the story to this point. My goal is to retire and travel, and eventually come back to Hawaii, probably buy 1 more home, and have the 2 rentals and a home to live in, or maybe a boat to live in, or something like that. I don't know. We'll see how it goes, see how we enjoy traveling. I think I'm going to enjoy it a lot. I think my wife is going to get tired of it pretty quick. I'm more used to the struggle than she is, because I go to work every day and struggle. But yeah, that's it for today. I'm all sweaty now that we turned the engine off. We're going to head on home. We got some chicken cooked up with a salad and rice and beans. So that's kind of what's for dinner tonight. And we'll be back here with everybody else tomorrow. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. Aloha.